Hello and welcome to episode 412 of AI Brief. I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah.
We have a massive show for you today. And I mean massive. The Super Bowl has come and gone. And while there was a game on the field, the real contact sport seemed to be happening during the commercial breaks.
It certainly was. We're going to unpack how tech giants and even startups completely flooded the big game, basically turning it into a showcase for artificial intelligence.
We also have a record-breaking story about a domain name. The founder of Crypto.com just dropped a staggering amount of money on a two-letter URL.
$70 million, to be exact. We'll get into what that purchase means for the future of, well, autonomous agents.
Plus, viral video models coming out of ByteDance that look unbelievably cinematic.
And some very serious research breakthroughs. We're talking Goldman Sachs, xAI, and a major mathematical milestone from a company called Axiom.
And finally, we'll wrap up with the trending tools you need to know about, including the latest from OpenAI and Kling. It's a lot to get through, so let's jump right into the new updates.
All right, let's start with Super Bowl LX. It really wasn't just about football this year. It felt like a battleground for AI attention.
The reports are saying tech's share of ad space jumped to around 10%. That's a significant chunk of airtime. But when you look at the list, Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, Amazon, it almost makes sense. They have the war chests.
They do.
What really jumped out at me from the research, though, was the startups.
That was the surprise. You expect the trillion-dollar club, your Amazons, Metas, Googles, but to see companies like Genspark, Base44, Ramp, Rippling, even Wix buying 30-second spots.
It's an incredibly risky way to spend your capital.
It is. A Super Bowl slot is, what, $7 million now, just for the airtime?
Right. For a startup, that's a huge piece of your runway just gone in 30 seconds. So why take that risk?
Because the window to become the default is closing fast. Think about it. Most of us use one search engine, one or two social networks. These companies are betting we'll only have one main AI agent that runs our lives. So if you're Genspark or Base44, you're not just selling a product. You are trying to become a household name before OpenAI eats the entire market.
So it's a desperate grab for brand equity.
Precisely. It's less about the immediate return and more about survival. It's a legitimacy play.
If you're on the Super Bowl, the average person just assumes you're too big to fail.
It signals to the market that you're a serious contender, that you're in the race to be the default interface for the future.
You know, one of the most interesting creative choices actually came from a vodka brand, Svedka. They ran what they're calling the first primarily AI-generated Super Bowl ad.
This was fascinating. They used AI to revive their old robotic mascot, and they used the tech to train its dance moves.
It's a meta-commentary in a way.
Right. AI is influencing not just what's being sold, but how the commercial itself is even constructed.
It definitely stood out, almost weaponizing that uncanny valley for marketing. Then you had the hardware pushes. Meta was showcasing athletic intelligence through their AI glasses.
Trying to bridge that gap between digital AI and, physical utility. Amazon was there pushing the new Alexa Plus spin, and Google highlighted Gemini, along with a product they're calling Nano Banana.
Still love that name. But we have to talk about the rivalry here. Anthropic made its debut, and they took a very specific angle.
They did, and this was maybe the most interesting strategic move of the night. While everyone else was shouting, "Look at our cool AI," Anthropic ran this viral campaign that specifically positioned themselves against ads in AI.
It was clever counter-programming.
And that launch kicked off a whole viral feud with OpenAI and Sam Altman in the week before the game even happened.
It created a narrative.
By positioning themselves as the alternative, they generated a conversation that lasted way longer than their ad slot. It just highlights that this isn't just a technology race anymore.
It's a branding war.
It is. A war to be the agent that you actually trust to handle your daily life.
Speaking of trust and agents, let's pivot to that $70 million domain sale. This is the other massive story of the day.
It is a staggering number. Chris Marszalek, the co-founder and CEO of Crypto.com, bought the domain AI.com for $70 million.
That just shatters the previous record, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. The last big one was Voice.com, which sold for $30 million back in 2019. This is more than double that.
And he didn't just buy the URL to sit on it. He launched the site with his own Super Bowl commercial.
Exactly. He's launching it as an autonomous AI agent platform for consumers. The promise is a personal AI that can, trade stocks, manage your calendar, send messages, automate workflows.
All with zero technical setup. That's the key.
Right. The vision, as he puts it, is a network of agents that autonomously build new capabilities and share upgrades with each other. He said the goal is to accelerate the advent of AGI.
It's a bold vision. But I have to be critical here. You've got the record-breaking domain price, the splashy Super Bowl ad. That's great marketing.
Sure.
But the reality of building a functional autonomous agent that can reliably trade your stocks seems incredibly difficult.
It is. It's maybe the hardest problem in the field. It all comes down to something called error cascading.
Okay, what does that mean in this context?
Well, if you ask a chatbot to write a poem and it messes up, it's funny. But if you ask an agent to transfer money, book a flight, and email your boss, and it hallucinates one digit,
It's a disaster.
the error in step 1 cascades and causes a total failure by step 5. To have an agent that does things on its own, you need like 99.9% reliability.
And where are we now?
Most models are around 80% for those complex multi-step tasks. So Marszalek is buying the best real estate on the internet, but we don't know if the house he's building is structurally sound yet.
And he's competing against established frontier labs that have been working on this for years with thousands of engineers.
Precisely. There's a big difference between buying the domain and having the product. But the bet is probably on network effects. If AI.com becomes the default place people go, he might just attract the talent needed to build out that ecosystem.
A very high-stakes gamble. Definitely a space to watch. Okay, I want to shift gears a little. We've talked about the marketing blitz and the big money. I want to slow things down now and look at the actual tech shifts happening under the hood.
Good idea. There are some significant updates in research and creative tools that we really need to cover. These stories are a bit denser, so let's unpack them carefully.
Let's start with ByteDance. The team behind TikTok and CapCut just released something called Seedance 2.0.
It's in a limited beta right now on China's Dreamina platform, but the output is already turning heads. Seedance 2.0 generates cinematic scenes from text, from images, or even from storyboards.
The demos I saw are going viral for a reason. There's a Jackie Chan-style fight sequence with almost 2 million views, and honestly, it made me a little uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable? Why?
Because AI video is usually so dreamy. It's slow, things morph into each other. This was crisp, the punches landed, the physics felt, real.
That is the breakthrough. Usually, AI video models just struggle with complex interactions between multiple bodies. Limbs get confused, they clip through each other, physics breaks.
But this demo looks coherent.
There's also a high-quality chase scene that looks like it was pulled from a summer blockbuster.
So what's the secret?
It suggests they're leveraging that massive video dataset from TikTok. They have maybe the world's largest library of human movement and short-form action. They aren't just training on static images. They're training on pacing, camera angles, physical cause and effect.
So we're moving from just video generation to something closer to reality simulation.
That's the direction of travel. If you can simulate a fight scene perfectly, you aren't just making a movie. You're building a world model that understands how solid objects interact in space.
Okay, moving from the creative arts to high finance. Goldman Sachs made a big revelation about their work with Anthropic.
This is a really significant adoption story. Goldman revealed they've been collaborating with Anthropic for the past 6 months, and they aren't just using a chatbot. They're building AI agents to automate accounting, compliance, and client onboarding.
That's the boring back office work that actually drives immense value.
It is, but think about what that implies. Compliance and onboarding are document-heavy, rule-based processes where mistakes are legally very expensive.
You don't automate compliance unless you really trust the model.
Exactly. You trust it not to lie. If Anthropic's models can handle that with high accuracy, it signals a new maturity in the technology. It means banks are trusting AI with sensitive, regulated workflows, not just, drafting emails.
It's a shift from AI as a toy to AI as real infrastructure.
It is. And speaking of model maturity, we had a comment from xAI co-founder Igor Babushkin about the new Claude model.
Right, he was publicly praising Claude Opus 4.6, and he highlighted its physics capabilities specifically.
Yes, he suggested the model's understanding of physical simulations and laws is so advanced that a Claude code moment for research is approaching.
What does he mean by a Claude code moment?
Well, think about what happened with coding. AI got good enough to act as a co-pilot, right? It multiplied the output of developers. He's implying this model could do the same for scientific research.
So if the model intuitively understands physics, it can help simulate experiments or solve problems way faster than a human could alone.
Exactly. Instead of running a physical experiment that takes weeks, you run a simulation in seconds. It becomes a force multiplier for science.
And that connects perfectly to our next story from Axiom. This might be the most technically significant news of the day.
It's a big one. Axiom announced that its AI independently solved a previously unsolved math problem.
And it didn't just spit out the answer, right? That's the key.
Correct. The AI wrote its own verified proof. And this is a first for AI in advanced mathematical research.
I want to pause on that.
Why?
Why is the proof part so critical here?
Because in math, the answer is often less important than the logic used to get there. And this has always been the Achilles heel of large language models. They work on probability, they guess the next word.
They're great at poetry, terrible at rigorous logic, they hallucinate.
Exactly. They make up things that sound plausible. But for an AI to derive a new proof and have it verified means it isn't just pattern matching anymore, it's reasoning.
So how does it do that?
It likely used a technique called formal verification, where the AI writes code in a special language that can be mathematically checked for truth.
It's like a spell checker, but for logic itself.
That's a great analogy. If the proof is verified, it means it's not a hallucination. It is truth. And that solves the reliability problem we talked about earlier. If you can trust the logic, you can trust the agent.
That is incredible. From Jackie Chan fight scenes to unsolved math problems. The range of progress just today is staggering.
It really is. It covers the full spectrum of human capability, from creativity to pure logic. It feels like the infrastructure phase is ending and the deployment phase is really, truly beginning.
Okay, let's move on to the tools that are available right now. We have a list of trending AI tools to help boost your productivity.
There are some powerful new releases to cover.
First up is GPT 5.3 Codex from OpenAI.
This is their new state-of-the-art agentic coding model. So if you're a developer, this is likely the new standard. It's designed to handle complex coding tasks on its own, moving beyond just completion to actual problem solving. It understands the context of the whole project.
And we mentioned it earlier, but Claude Opus 4.6 is officially on the list.
Yep. Anthropic's upgrade to their most powerful model line. As we discussed, this one is excelling in reasoning and physics. If you have a complex reasoning task, legal analysis, scientific data, this is the go-to model right now.
For video creators, we have Krea Realtime.
The real-time part is key here. Usually you type a prompt and wait a minute to see what happens. Krea gives you immediate feedback and lets you iterate. It changes the workflow from wait and see to something more like sculpting with video.
There's another video tool, Kling 3.0.
Kling's new update is all about consistency. It produces 15-second outputs, but the coherence from frame to frame is much, much better. It's great for short-form content where you need the video to hold together without, the character's face morphing weirdly.
And on the productivity side, we have Lemon.
Their tagline is, think it, say it, done. It turns your voice instructions into finished tasks. They claim it's 12 times faster than typing. It's a voice-first interface for getting work done.
Then there's Palix.
Palix is a multimedia generator. It creates images, videos, and music instantly. Think of it as an all-in-one creative suite, like a Swiss Army knife for when you need assets quickly for a presentation.
For all those meetings, we have Culva.
Culva is an automated meeting assistant. Records, transcribes, provides AI-powered summaries. But the real value is how it pulls out action items. It helps you track what you actually agreed to do without taking notes.
And finally, NeatScribe.
NeatScribe is a versatile transcription tool. It handles audio and video across a bunch of different platforms and formats. It's a real utility player for anyone who needs to turn spoken content into text.
A lot of powerful tools to check out. It really feels like the ecosystem is just expanding in every direction at once.
It does. Whether you're coding, making movies, or just trying to get through your inbox, there's a new model or tool this week that fundamentally changes the workflow.
And that is a wrap for today's deep dive into the industry.
We covered everything from the Super Bowl blitz to the frontiers of mathematics.
If you enjoyed this, please follow the show and share it with a colleague or a friend who needs to stay ahead of the curve.
We appreciate you listening.
See you in the next episode.